A meeting organized by General Muhammadu Buhari's APC party. They had a presser. They also had a meeting with the private sector. Wole went to that meeting and he's here now. So Wole, give me a sense. What was the central message that you got out of the discussion that General had with I saw a room full of very big, powerful people?
Right, absolutely. It's all about campaigning, right? So he's coming to the business community, trying to make a pitch there as well. But for me, when I listen to some of his presentations, it's still very long on intent, but very short on detail, in my view. I mean, for instance, he talked about creating jobs.
Yeah.
And if you look at the manifesto of the party, they're looking to do 3 million jobs a year. But the big question is, how do you get that done?
Yeah.
Quite a few other things he mentioned that
3
really
million jobs a year.
Jobs a year.
Does he detail how he's going to create those jobs and where they're going to be created?
That is what is missing in terms of the detail, how you get it done. Quite a few issues around detail for me, and I think that's the real big takeaway. But just to highlight a few things he said, a very interesting point he made. He said we cannot build an economy where corruption is the working capital. So a bit of a punt, if you like, on the government and the issues that Nigeria has with corruption. And I think that is going to be really his defining message. Many people turn to speak about his tenure as former head of state and some of the things that were done to root out corruption in the country then. Some people argue that maybe he went a little too far in terms of trying to prosecute people, but he does have that legacy of trying to fight corruption. I think he's definitely going to play that up in the campaign.
I think one of the most refreshing things that I see sort of as an outsider, if you like, coming in and looking in, is the candor, if you like, with which people speak about corruption. Everybody comes openly and says, hello, we know there's a problem of corruption. I think the big departure point comes to what you do about it. But you noted the point about what he said, about the fact that you said, he says, we will deal with corruption after we get into office, but there will be no retroactive action.
Yes, I picked that up as well. I thought that was quite an interesting point. When it came to the issue of corruption, he did mention that he really just gave the impression that it will be a case of no business as usual once we get into office, and less detail in terms of how they would prosecute for crimes committed in the past. And some people may argue that it maybe just reflects the overwhelmingness in terms of the issue of corruption in this country. The extent of the problem in this country it's a big challenge if you want to really prosecute everyone for every wrongdoing. So I think focusing on the future is really what he's trying to play up here.
Absolutely. Do you get the sense that when he comes in, there will be change? Because this is the big issue, isn't it? You have had a government that's been pretty much driving the same economic policies over the past few years, even though Jonathan has had his terms truncated, if you like, first under Yaradua and then coming into his own when he was president. Right.
Well, certainly that's the line that you're selling for the campaign. So if he does win the elections, one expects quite a few changes. Absolutely. There's no question. Definitely he will be bringing his new cabinet, so a new set of people, if you like, to think about how to drive the economy forward. And of course, many of these plans, which I continue to say a bit short in detail, I guess we'll get cracking on that.
Did you talk about the other big elephant in the room? Obviously, the issue of insecurity. We had that weekend attack on Maiduguri in the north, and people generally getting that sense that things are deteriorating a little bit, even though, of course, the rebels were beaten back.
Well, it certainly wasn't emphasizing this dialogue, because the dialogue really was with the business people.
Are they not worried about security?
They are, and I think one interesting question that came up was whether or not he would be changing policies at all. Because some people felt not everything is bad with this government, right? There are some things that are working, and we hope that they can continue to work. But in a sense, I don't think he really answered that question. He kind of just deflected and said, look, I think he played the campaigning tone again, saying that with all the challenges Nigeria has, with the weakened naira, with the issue of corruption and the impact of that on the economy, we need change. So change is coming in one form or the other.
Absolutely. Change may be coming. Let's see if it does indeed change. So just to remind you again, Nigerians are going to elections on February the 14th. They will be electing a new president as well as members of parliament. And then on the 28th of February, they will be electing new governors as well as representatives of state legislature.